Riverside Tigers. Again, thank you all for joining us, Dan Gadino and the entire broadcast crew. In pursuit of the Tigers to improve to 4-1, including an undefeated 2-0 in league play, as Casey Iman, in what is a 23-yard try, will try and get this thing to a game again. 15-3 our score. Snap, ball down, kick has the distance, and is good. 15-6 with 3:10 to go. The Tigers, despite the defensive dominance, still are giving up a couple field goals to make this thing close.
If I'm Riverside, I want to be able to score 7 points
right now.
Yeah,
you gotta do it
before
right now.
the half ends. It'll just provide you with more cushion and more of a dominant feel. It'll feel like you're totally taking over the game, and you give Fullerton's chances, well, they're nearly cut to zero if you're Riverside and you're able to score before this half ends.
Well, that's one of the under-the-radar signs of a championship team versus one that it obviously is not. Is your offense able to score before the half and score coming out of the half? As the Tigers last week were able to do so. In their win over El Camino, 0 points offensively during the first 25 minutes. They were able to score a field goal right before the half and came out with a long drive capped off by a Foster touchdown. 10 points, I guess, off of free possessions. But Fullerton will be in the second half with the football. So Riverside's got to be able to get something going here, Dan, as the score is 15-6, and Iman sends this one high and away. That'll be Tremel Davis receiving at his own 5. Picks up a block to the 10, sprints to the 15, 20, 25, has room to the 30, and he's upended right before he was able to rev that engine down the far sideline out to the 34, a return at 29.
The 2-minute offense is now in play. Nick King will have to manage something that is all positive.
No negative plays.
Yeah. Let's see if Coach Tom Kraft has designed the perfect strategy for Nick King in a 2-minute offense.
King was able to rally the troops, 24 points in about 2.5 quarters, and currently his ball club leads 15-6. And the Tigers, with 3:03 to go, are 67 yards away from pay dirt. But, of course, they're around 50 or so from makeable field goal range. Wildcat handoff goes to Denzel Foster, and that play will gain 8. Another gash up the middle by Denzel Foster, who may have just break the century mark in rushing in this game.
Yeah, the perfect start to this 2-minute warning offense. Just go straight Wildcat to your best player on offense, Denzel Foster.
And Foster's now out of the game. In is Michael Stallone. He'll be lined up in the slot. An empty set here by the Tigers. 4 receivers and 0 running backs in the formation. A running clock with 2:28 to go. Tigers lead 15-6. Shotgun snap. King looking left. In trouble. Fires high for Stallone, who nearly made a leaping reception at the 42. That'll be incomplete. 3rd and 2.
So, like I said earlier, when Nicholas King is under pressure, he tends to release the ball too high, giving it this high trajectory, which just overthrows everybody. So he's got to be able to work on that. Just stand in the pocket, relax, and follow through, and you'll get yourself a nice pass.
In the world, are you a quarterback or something?
Hey,
I used to play?
Hey, I used to play a little bit.
What, in flag football?
Yeah, you got that right.
A Pop Warner. As Nicholas King, trying to do a little bit better than Dan Gadino here in the studio, actually ends up picking up the first down. That'll be a 10-yard pickup on 3rd and 2. And how about that play, a quarterback expert?
Nicely thrown.
Did that meet your standards?
Hey, met them.
And surpassed them, huh?
Surpassed them. So I would say not bad.
15-6. We'll see what King has in store here as he fires to Whitney. And the tackle is made and ridden out of bounds here for the Hornets. That'll be Andre Pierman. And that clock keeps moving, but so does the football, now entering enemy territory.
Hey, they're creating. They're making things happen slowly but for surely. It seems like they're on their way to at least a 3-point score.
I think what's most impressive is King is been so efficient passing the football. I mean, he's for sure over 60% completions in this game and has been lethal, picking apart that Fullerton Hornet defense. 15-6 with 1:45 to go. Pass rush coming, fires low to Darius Hunter, but is able to hang on to the football. That'll be yet another completion. Excuse me, that's Isaac Whitney down to the 16-yard line.
The King to Whitney connection is now an established weapon.
5 catches for them today.
Hey, how about that? Nick King right there standing strong, standing in the pocket, is patient and waits and throws it to where they like to say only the wide receiver could catch it.
Nice and low. King 3 for 3 on this drive alone. 1st and 10. Flags fly. That'll be a false start.
And just when you think some rhythm is developed, a penalty comes into play.
I mean, I don't think the false starts are that hard to clean up. Is it, Dan?
Hey, it has to be easy to clean up.
I mean,
it's
the snap
all about
counts.
discipline, and it's all about being in the game mentally.
The awareness definitely not there for this offensive line. King will take it himself, tucks it under 25-20, breaks a tackle, zigzags to the 10, reaching to the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, Tigers. It is a 31-yard gash up the middle for 6.
Nicholas King notices there is no one open, but there's a gap straight down the middle.
0 safeties over the middle, isn't it, Dan?
Jukes the linebacker, elusive to the safety, and just walks right in, almost untouched. Maybe a hand touched him, but right there, a 31-yard scamper for the 21-6 lead with 1:05 left in this first half.
Jimmy Camacho to try and add another point on the board. This will make it 22-6. Kick on the way, and he's still perfect on extra points. 1:05 to go, 22-6. Dan, a 31-yard trip to the end zone, and now the Tigers will end, or at least get us going near halftime with another touchdown.
Hey, all I've got to say is this is impressive. Riverside came out
score.
to play.
Absolutely.
There is no doubt that this team came out with the design game plan, and that game plan was to feed Denzel Foster early, and then let Nicholas King create. Let him create with his feet. He's done it with his arm. Like you said, he's got to be over or a little bit under 60%, but he's doing a good job of managing this RCC offense tonight.
He's been right around 100% effort on that touchdown scamper. A 31-yard trip to the end zone. 22-6 our score, and Fullerton's getting run out of this building here at Wheelock Stadium. We still have over 2 quarters of football to go, and Jimmy Camacho will try to send this one to the end zone. A line drive kick. Squibb was recovered at around the 25-yard line by the up back, and he'll scurry out of bounds after a pickup of around 10 yards. That defense has to do it here, Dan, and they have exactly 60 seconds to go between now and the locker room at halftime.
Hey, Vernay, he's got to be able to develop something, create something right now. I'm talking about the Fullerton quarterback. And his inability to get the deep pass may be a burden to him right now with just exactly 1 minute left in this first half. Let's see if they go deep with him. Fullerton
now has 65 yards to go for a place they've never been in this game, a touchdown. They currently trail 22-6. Vernay's looking long, swings it late to the near hand side, and that was a mistake. A bone-jarring collision by A.J. Hodgkins, Jarrell Moss on the reception. That Riverside team is celebrating as that clock keeps moving. Now down to 44 seconds to go. Fullerton still does have 1 timeout remaining. Now 2nd and 5 from the 40. Vernay will roll out. Pass rush coming and fires low and incomplete, intended for Moss. 3rd and 5 now with 35 seconds to go.
Yeah, right now Fullerton needs chunks, and that's big plays.
That would have been a nice chunk.
That would have been the perfect chunk to set him up for at
yards.
least. Yeah.
But that pass rush is so scary.
Yes, it is. Tough pass for Vernay to make, especially when you're rolling out to your left.
3rd down and 5 from their own 40, and what seems to be more like pride points here before the half. A.J. Hodgkins on the pursuit off of a pass completion. Jarrell Moss. That'll be another 3rd down stop by that Riverside defense, and timeout is called by the Riverside Tigers.
Perfect.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a smart play by Coach Tom Kraft right there. You give yourself a chance to return a kick or maybe bust a run with a few seconds left when your offense is out there. But
at the last moment, he actually decided to waive off the timeout, which means that the Tigers will let that clock wind, and unless the Hornets are, in some cases, delusional to try and put this ball, we'll enter halftime with a 22-6 score and get you going with halftime updates along with other scores from around the JuCo world. Actually, hold my horses. We have 6 now on the clock before Fullerton will burn their final timeout, maybe going for one final shot to the end zone right before the half.
Possibly, or just making sure you don't allow a pump block. That's my biggest concern. You don't want any more mistakes if you're Fullerton.
I've been very impressed with how the Tigers have been able to come back following the Grossmont loss. As now, it's halftime here. In the last 6 quarters of football, Dan, following the Grossmont loss, they had a bye week to try and resurrect their misfortune. But now, as we enter the break at Wheelock Stadium, the Tigers have scored 53 points offensively and have held their opponents to 16. Combined score 56-16 in favor of your Tigers.
Very impressive. And this has the making of last week's win over El Camino, a game in which they won 31-7. And it sort of has that feel. Starting off maybe a little tentative. I'm not talking about totally slow, but I'm saying a mistake here, a mistake there. I'm talking penalties mostly.
No, it was nearly tied at halftime.
But in that game versus El Camino, totally dominant, we could say, as soon as Nicholas King came in. And here Nicholas King starts this one, and he's, being Nicholas King.
Picked up right where he left off.
Exactly, getting a rushing touchdown, tossing one for a touchdown. And so, this is a decent start so far. 22-6 at halftime right now.
We'll take a closer look at the game in a matter of moments, but we'll get you caught from other scores from around halftime and then send it down to the field where we have one of the most highly touted marching bands in the nation, the Riverside Marching Tigers. They'll perform yet another act here at Wheelock Stadium. Do you have the standings, Dan?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
Here we go.
We'll get you going from all the standings from around the JuCo world. We'll start with the National Central Conference. Currently, your Tigers rank third in a conference for 7 teams, led by Long Beach City College, where currently it is Long Beach who pulled away over Allen Hancock, an unranked Hancock team, 31-21 final score out of that game.
So I would say a struggle right there.
Yes, definitely a struggle for the number 2 team in the state, but they did win the football game. Meanwhile, Riverside has been dominant against ranked football teams, Dan. Meanwhile, we go to the number 2 team currently in the state of California, Citrus, who's in a struggle. It's in a fight at home against Bakersfield College. 14-10 at halftime. Number 15 Citrus, who ranked number 2 in our conference, against Bakersfield. A
team that Riverside handed a whooping to, 51-3. I'm talking when Riverside played Bakersfield here at Wheelock Stadium.
51-3. Meanwhile, Citrus, who's apparently ranked better than us, they are in a struggle against.
I like the way you said
Bakersfield. Apparently, absolutely. I mean, this is going to really shake up the rankings when we finally get them out. As RCC, who ranked number 8, have just taken a beating, delivered a beating against the Fullerton College Hornets. As we have a couple of numbers to give to you, and none is bigger than another impressive performance by Nicholas King. 14 of 25 passing today.
Wow.
$144, a touchdown, and Dan, no critical interceptions again by Nicholas King, the sophomore out of Westchester. Meanwhile, on the ground, another impressive performance out of JW North transfer Denzel Foster. 14 carries, 103 yards, including that long 21-yarder to get things going to begin the game. And then you add the Nick King 36-yard touchdown, including the 31-yard scamper for 6. And, Dan, that running game is about as lethal as any.
It is. And
it really pick your poison for Fullerton.
It totally is. You stack the box, then you've got to worry about Isaac Whitney going deep on you. You do a double coverage on Isaac Whitney. Now you're playing a cover 2 safeties back there. So now you got to worry about Denzel Foster or maybe even Nicholas King rolling out and finding something as he rolls out of the pocket. So you're right. You're totally right about it. It's pick your poison. Yes,
sorry.
Here's an impressive number. 15 first downs to only 7 first downs for Fullerton. So that's a big
They've dominated
number.
the first downs, total offense, as Riverside has ran 20 times for 148 yards. Meanwhile, Fullerton 10 times, 7 yards. That's the discrepancy. Over the last 6 quarters, I'll give you a couple extra for Fullerton. It's both El Camino and the Hornets who have combined for 5 yards rushing the football.
Wow, that's a horrible number right there. And here's something that I've noticed before kickoff. It's something that I felt we needed to take into account, and that's that game against